Oh, well, he was taking him down repeatedly.
That's not necessarily a great sign for Cyril facing Tom. That's for sure.
As a thespian, Paul, and an American, give us your best Bryce Mitchell. Do you know who I want to see Israel Adesanya fight next?
Who?
Next fight for RDR. He said he obviously called out the winner of Whittaker and Dricus and Hamza. Obviously, that's what you want to see. I don't think it's realistic. Of course, we've got Kyle Bohio and Imavov waiting in the wings as well. But I think he's certainly in the conversation. If he had to have one more, who do you think that is?
I would like to see either Paulo Costa or Adesanya. I think those are two really big steps up, two really good strikers where they're very clean and powerful in their own right. And who knows what's happening with Strickland. And I know Adesanya wanted him, but I mean, shit, if you go and beat RDR, you put yourself right back into the picture. I think almost even more so at this point because of the streak that he's on. So those are the guys I'd like to see.
I'm going to say, I understand the Adesanya call out, but I would save Adesanya because you're saying you're not sure what's going on with Strickland. He's been suspended indefinitely because of that weird march up that he did and then the 2 punches. I think he got suspended more for the walk than the punches. But he's off the table for now. But I think they're going to have a hearing soon, and it'll be like 3 months, 6 months, whatever. Do you know who I want to see Israel Adesanya fight next?
Who?
Shara Bullet. Come on.
Yeah.
Shara
like
Bullet.
That. That's fun.
Izzy gets to go toe-to-toe with another world-class striker. So does Shara. The fans will absolutely love it. No one will be shooting takedowns. I think that's the matchup next for Izzy. However, we were talking
about... Got to be in Abu Dhabi or Saudi, though.
It does. In October. Middleweight division... For RDR, there isn't. I mean, I think everyone's booked.
What about it could, like, we always think about the winners of certain things too, but he could be looking at the loser of that Kyle Bahayo and Imavov fight as well.
Yeah.
I think him and Imavov would be a very interesting matchup as well. Imavov has fantastic footwork. He's a very good striker, good takedown defense. DeRitter is bigger than, I think, other than height-wise from Adesanya, I think he's bigger than all of those guys, too.
There was a video, now you mentioned Nasruddin Imavov. There was a video of him grappling with Cyril Gane last week because Cyril Gane was just announced he's fighting Tom Aspinall, Abu Dhabi in October. Are you working that event?
I'm not working that one.
I'm not working that event, but I'll be there. TNT Sports, Power Slap, Tales from the Octagon. Oh, it's a busy week. But Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall for the undisputed belt. He was wrestling with Nasruddin Imavov. And Imavov was only training. Oh, well, he was taking him down repeatedly.
That's not necessarily a great sign for Cyril facing Tom. That's for sure.
Not if you.
But again, you're right. It's just training. It's just training, but. If Imavov's taking you down, Tom's going to blast you through the goddamn cage.
All right, so let's just quickly rip through the other fights. Shara Bullet, that was a great fight. Anything to say on there?
Dude, his nose is so jacked, but he showed heart and toughness because that nose was shattered by that punch from Barrio. My God, it was brutal.
There we go. Boom.
I said he's smelling behind him. Yeah, you could see. Look how crooked it is there.
Oh, I think he stuck his fingers up his own nose and straightened it out, didn't he? Somebody did something. You're right, because by the next round, it was already back lined up a little bit. But I was talking about this on the post-fight show. What I liked about that fight, of course, we've seen Shara Bullet many times be very slick and creative and dangerous, and we saw all of that stuff. The kicks were brutal. They were very, very fast. Of course, Barrio had his moments, cracked him with that right hand and made it a fun fight. But we saw Shara Bullet having to dig deep. You know what I mean? And that's what you want to see from these fighters. It's all well and good when you go out there and you put it on people and you embarrass them and you pick them apart and you've got the speed and the edge and the technical ability. And of course, he lost against MVP. MVP, just a really, really awkward, fast, unique style. But in that fight there, we saw him have to dig deep, bite down on the mouthpiece,
covered in blood, broken nose, and still push forward and show, like, for one of a cliche term, what a warrior he is. But he did that. And that's what, you love those fights. As a fighter, I remember those fights more than the ones where you go out there and just beat the shit out of someone.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's your war stories, right? I mean, as fighters, those are the ones we talk about. I don't talk about when I knocked a guy out necessarily really clean or early on in my career when they were easy. I talk about when my nose got broken or, oh man, I was in the hospital after this and we're eating donuts and people were visiting me because we went back and forth. That's what you're going to remember at the end of your career. And credit to Barrio too, man. They basically gave him that fight like a week after his last knockout that he had. And, he knows he's got to travel to Abu Dhabi. He knows he's going to be in enemy territory. It's basically everyone going to be supporting Shara Bullet in there. And he stepped up. He got hurt with some bad shots. He was able to maintain it and come out and he gave us a battle. So credit to him. And I think the UFC will, they obviously gave him fight of the night, got another 50K on top of it. And I think he just signed a new deal as well. So we'll see Barrio around for quite a few more fights, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his stock went up even though he lost, so fair play to him. Petr Yan did what a lot of people expected. Marcus McGee, I thought, gave a good account of himself. He proved that he belongs. He proved that he's got a great future. But Petr Yan is he's phenomenal, man. He's so technical to watch. I thought that was a really good, strong performance. Obviously went to the scorecards. Marcus McGee, as I say, I think his stock goes up in that performance as well. Petr Yan, I don't think it was a surprise to most people, though, that he won that fight.
No.
I know he's doing an interview right now, or shortly before, from a nightclub on Helwani's show. I was just sitting on the toilet when I got back in from the gym, just squeezing one out before we started the show. And I was just having a scroll. And I'm like, there's Petr Yan in a nightclub doing an interview. So fair play to that guy. Asu Almabayev, of course, got a good win over Jose Ochoa. Bogdan Guskov knocked out Nikita Krylov. I'm going through all these. There's a couple I want to talk about. Bryce Mitchell, had a good win over Saeed Nurmagomedov. Anything to say there? Brian, you were saying that Bryce Mitchell is out of his mind. Why? What has he been saying now? Because we know Bryce Mitchell is a character.
I was just saying that Bryce Mitchell is hilarious here. I'm going to pull up his recent post.
Send him to Arkansas 2 or 3 years and forget about it.
I love that comment.
Oh, God. Jesus
he
Christ.
said he didn't even know. He had the knee. That is a memory that he will never have in his life. He doesn't remember anything about that. He's like, they were told me afterwards I got hit by a knee. Doesn't remember a single second of that. Well, he basically remembers round 2 and round 3. Doesn't remember much of that in round 1.
As a thespian, Paul, and an American, give us your best Bryce Mitchell.
Oh God! Why do you always
come on now, Paul?
With these accents, man. I was there, and these dudes came out, and apparently in Abu Dhabi, you're not supposed to walk from the shower to the locker room naked. And these Muslim dudes, were looking at me, and not only was I outnumbered, but I was outsized. There's a cold breeze there in that locker room, and let me tell you, I thought I was now I might be able to take on 1 or 2 of them, but 6 dudes, I'm not going to be able to take on 6 dudes. Now, I might not be able to do, a Scottish accent or, an English accent, but the Southern one I can do pretty well.
But you got that one down, brother. All right, today's episode is sponsored by Skims. What are Skims? They are underwear, but not just any underwear. These might be the softest, the most luxurious, and more importantly, the most comfortable underwear that I've ever worn. I fly all over the world doing the UFC, as you know, and when I'm flying 15 hours to somewhere, to say Sydney, I choose my underpants very strategically. Uncomfortable underwear, if you're sitting on a long plane ride or you're sitting in a car, you're going to get squashed up down there. You know what I'm talking about. You don't want to be all squashed and pressed in and all the rest of it. But these things, they feel beautiful. They're very silky, beautiful, fine cotton. They're very, very comfortable, luxurious even. And by the way, Skims, they are the official underwear partner of the NBA, the WNBA, and USA Basketball. So if you're looking for some premium underwear, very, very comfortable, then you can't go wrong with Skims. So if you want to travel around feeling like me, if you want a nice pair of underpants that feels great, extremely comfortable, then you got to head over to skims.com or go to the Skims stores. After you place the order, please select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop down menu that follows. As I said, Skims is the official underwear partner of the NBA, WNBA, and USA basketball. Skims.com.